Hi everyone, hope everybody is well, and we've got a little bit of a pickups. We've got some eBay stuff, some things I bought off eBay recently, and then a couple of items from the Leeds Videogame Market, which took place on 3rd of Feb, 5th of Feb, something like that. And I'm a little bit late in showing you what I've got from that event, but there's no rush. I've just had my breakfast, and if anybody wants a breakfast recommended, salt and pepper bread cakes from Morrison's, toasted with lashings of butter on. Proactive butter, obviously, to keep the cholesterol down, but yeah, you've got to lash that butter on. Bloody marvellous. Just having a cup of tea. Yeah, and I got up, I've just watched Eddie's Rollercore's video on why I collect modern games. I'll delve into that slightly in a little bit, and I thought, you know what, I need to get this pickups video done, and then I can get these games shifted off to me lockup, keep my desk nice and tidy. I'll start with the Leeds Videogame Market. Yeah, it were a really good event, absolutely rammed. Which is good for the traders, most certainly. Obviously, it's going to be good for the company running the event. But yeah, it was absolutely rammed. I didn't really go to buy anything, if I'm honest. I went there purely for the social aspect, as I do nowadays. And obviously, the usual crew were there. I think you'll have seen people mention them anyway. But we'd got Eddie and Dylan. They were stalling out. Always good to see them too. I think I went to Eddie's table twice for a little natter. Tootie were there, and I think the second time I went to Eddie's table, Tootie were there, and we had a laugh. We always have a good laugh. Some banter, good old banter. It's not bullying, it's fucking banter. I love it, mate. Anyway, there were Craig's here again, and James, Retro Import Gamer, who were helping Craig do the stall. Again, had a good chat with those two guys. It's just really nice to be able to go and chat to them. I did have to go a bit later on, because the first time I went in, I just could not move at all. In fact, I hardly got to any of the tables. I basically just, I once have walked around the edges, squeezed my way around the edge, and then I went out. I thought I'll go have a drink at the bar, let things settle down a bit. The bar that doesn't sell alcohol. Well, they weren't on that day anyway, for whatever reason. Whether they thought, there might be trouble with selling it, I don't know. I don't see why. People aren't there to make trouble. It's Videogame Market, for God's sake. It's not a football match. But anyway, what else can you do? I got a glass of Coke, and I sat down, and then I saw Dad and Lads Gaming, Marcus and Tommy. Only briefly though. Unfortunately, I didn't get to catch up with you guys later on, which is a real shame. So hopefully, later on this year, there may be another event we can actually have a drink and sit down and have a proper chat, because it was basically, a greeting, and then Max and Tommy went doing their own thing. As I'm sat down, I saw Trev moving about, rock and roller. Is it rock and roller? Sorry, Trev, I forget your channel name all the time. Trev come and sat down with me. He did bring me a bag of 3.5-inch discs, floppies, which he says, he's no use for. I think they're from I think they're IBM discs, or from been used on an IBM. There's like software and just backup utility discs and stuff like that. So they'll come in handy for using as backup discs. So cheers for that, Trev. Me and Trev got a drink, he sat down with me and we had a little cow. And then I met up with Paul, Ink Northerner, and Griffo's Retro Gaming. I've pretty much spent, you know, the whole afternoon with those two. We went into Leeds City Centre, got a Wendy's. Never had a Wendy's before. It were alright. I don't think it were too bad. It's better than McDonald's, but I think everything is. I can't stand McDonald's. I just think they're shite, if I'm honest. I'm doing a bit of swearing in this video and I do apologise. Not like me to swear. I should do a swear jar like Mr. Retro Bear's just done and give the money away. Al won it. Al, big game. Al. Big money, Al. But yeah, again, me, Paul, and Alex, we had a great laugh. We nipped into CEX. I didn't get out from CEX. There's nothing really in there that's for me anymore. But yeah, it was just nice. We had a good chat. Like I said, we had a good laugh. And then there was Ben and Liam, Foxbox and Retro Ram. Christ, apologies, guys. I am getting old, you know. Come on, I am getting old now. I think I saw them passing. I was sat down at the bar, and I saw them passing. And I didn't really want to start waving and such, you know. But I thought maybe if they just see me, but they didn't. And then they went out, which is a shame because it'd been nice to have a chat with them. I didn't see them again that day. I think they went to Wetherspoons for dinner. They managed to get a pint. I didn't get a pint all day. I'm gutted. Yeah. They did say they were moving on to CEX, but I thought we might have seen them in there, but we didn't. We didn't cross paths, unfortunately. So what did I get from the Leeds Videogame Market? Not a great deal, but there was a lot more 8-bit stuff than I was expecting, I must admit. And I've been commenting on the Leeds Videogame Market on Facebook. And one of the sellers did reply to one of my comments saying, if you're after 8-bit stuff, we're selling, you know, all kinds of different formats. So you want to come over and have a look. I think I did. I think I went to their store. I don't know who there was, so. But I did see quite a few stalls selling 8-bit stuff. So I didn't get as many items, as many games as you would think. But to be honest, like I said, I wasn't really there to buy mass amounts. I was just there for the social aspect. I'll try and put a bit of footage over the top of my talking. First off, we've got Overlander, which is on the Encore label, the budget label Encore, which is Elite's budget label. Overlander is kind of I think it's kind of based on Road Blasters, really. A cross between Road Blasters and Chase HQ. You've got enemy cars and motorbikes and vehicles that you have to shoot out of the way, and then at the end of each level you come across like a boss and you've got to shoot that, take it down, and then progress on to the next level. There is weapon upgrades for this, so you know you can improve your vehicle and its capabilities. But yeah, that was originally by Elite, but released later on under Encore. The general consensus on that game is it's alright as a budget game, but as a full price game it's lacking a little bit, which is a shame, because it does look good, it looks decent enough. Next we have Thunderblade, conversion from the arcade classic by Sega. Thunderblade taking control of a chopper, on the cover it looks like a futuristic chopper, The Commodore 64 version, it's not bad conversion. It ain't bad, as in, you know, it was written by Chris Butler, who did some other good conversion. I can only think off the top of my head of Ghosts and Goblins. You know, it were a decent coder, Chris. Thunderblade, it's a little blocky to look at, no mistake in that. But there's some clever 3D effects which it used. You know, because obviously the C64 weren't capable of reproducing full 3D buildings. So what he did was he kind of used a pancake effect with using parallax. So one building, a skyscraper, would be made up of layers, flat squares. And how he'd do it is, as you move to the left and right, parallax, each layer would parallax, giving that almost 3D effect. It's kind of hard to explain. It's used to decent effect. The game is hard, no mistake in that, as most Commodore games are. But yeah, decent conversion considering the limits of the old C64. Next we've got, and it's all one way around here. Let me turn this inside out. I need new cases for these rails. They're a bit tacky, a bit scratched, and we've got Turbo Outrun on the US Gold. I've got this on Kick's label, but this is the actual original release, the full price release, US Gold. Turbo Outrun is our game, our driving game should be done on the Commodore 64 as probably one of the best soundtracks, certainly racing soundtracks by Jer and Tell. I think it's 20 minutes long. It uses sampled speech. It's a masterpiece. It's kind of techno-y, but it is really good. Turbo Outrun on the Commodore 64 plays very well. It is a really good driving game. So, there were a stall selling some ST stuff, and they have these loose discs for free for £1 or something like that. I thought I might as well get them. The first one, because it contains a full version of Deluxe Paint. This is just a cover disc off one of the magazines, ST format, but it contains Deluxe Paint. Which, you know, at the time that was the art package on the 16-bit computers, Amiga and ST. Deluxe Paint. A lot of the developers and that use Deluxe Paint to make graphics and that on. Next one, what we got here? Format Super Disc. I needed a disc to format discs. That's what this does, format Super Disc. Simple as that. Because obviously when I want to save games, I ideally need to format them back to blank. And then I got another disc. I didn't really see anything else, but then I saw this, and it's obviously a cover disc again, but it just says 3 full games. It don't tell you what's on them, and I'll be honest, I still haven't loaded it up to see what they is. But yeah, 3 full games. I thought, well, my last disc, I'll just take that and take a gamble on what's on it. I will tell you what's on it at some point when I get to home. Let me just finish my tea. So eBay purchases. Well, got one PS5 and I've got 4. No, sorry. There's 3 of these are eBay purchases. The other 2 are from retrogames.co.uk. Jace over at Retro Games. I'll start with the first one, which is an eBay purchase. It's PS5. I'm collecting PS5 sealed games, not interested in opened ones, just the sealed ones. And this caught my attention because it contains a little sew-on badge. It's all cellophaned up, sealed up. This is Outriders I have had a quick look at it on eBay. I think it's like an hack and slash kind of thing, I think. I'm not sure. It's by Square Enix. So I know just by the publisher it won't be my kind of game. Probably RPG elements to it. I don't do RPGs. Yeah, Floor's Deck B1. Obviously related to the game. But I'm only buying sealed games like under the tenner or so, £12 or under. My search is saved for, I think. This, like I said, this were about £10 with it being sealed in that with that badge. But I'll have to have that. And this leads me on to what Eddie has just posted a video about. Why do we collect modern games? I don't really collect modern games other than PS5 sealed, and that's just something to do if I'm honest. Because the thing is, how can I put it? I'm not overly impressed with the PS5. I still don't think there's any games being released that are showing its full potential. I still think it's a glorified PS4, and I have said the PS5 is probably the last next generation console I'll ever buy. I just don't see the point. There's no obvious leap in generations anymore. You know, when we went from 8-bit Commodore Spectrum to 16-bit Atari ST and Amiga, there was a notable difference. From the Master System and the NES to the SNES and the Mega Drive, there was a notable difference. There just isn't no more, and I really think they're just putting out consoles now just for the sales. You know, next we're gonna have PS6. I don't know when, but what is it going to offer that the PS5 won't be able to offer? Graphics are already pretty realistic. You know, I know characters, human characters are still quite a way off from looking real life like. But it just don't interest me anymore. I play the only game I really play on the PS5 is COD Warzone. I like the COD campaigns, don't get me wrong. But I only really play Warzone, and that is still running for PS4 and Xbox One owners to play. So obviously the graphics are certainly not PS5 quality. And I've really to see a game on the PS5 that I think, wow, that looks completely different to a PS4 game. I'm going on here, I didn't really want to. And I've sidetracked from the original thing about collecting modern games. I just don't. The libraries are too big. You know, I know you don't have to go for full sets, but I think that's a bit of OCD in me. I've got this full set addiction where, you know, I always want to strive for a full set. It's just how I am. So yeah, I won't say I am a modern game collector, to be honest, Eddie. You know, Commodore is mainly where it's at for me. The Spectrum and Amstrad Dragon, purely on nostalgia. And he did mention about like the scale from gamer to collector. I'm definitely a collector, and I don't even really pick up games with, you know, to play. I probably won't let play that. I'll never play that. I've played them before. I've no interest in playing that, but I like them to my collection, and it's just a thing. I don't know what it is about the human nature that we like to collect them. We like to display things. We like to show things off. There's nothing greater, and I've said this before, there's nothing greater than for me anyway, achieving a full set, getting that final game, getting that final piece of the jigsaw, putting it into place and it being there and thinking, yeah, I've got that. This may sound big-headed, but I've got a full Silverbird set. And I know there's other people who are maybe, you know, still chasing 1 or 2 games, and I know how hard it is to find some of those games for that set, and there's a nice sense of satisfaction knowing that I've got all those games. I've got the full set. So it's nice, and that's what it is. That's what it is about collecting for me. And like I said, I'm chasing the alternative. I'm very close to finishing that. There's a thrill. There is a bit of a thrill in chasing those last few. I mean, it's sad when you do get them, I suppose, because then the thrill of the chase is over, but there's always something else. There's always, I mean, certainly on the Commodore 64, there is plenty of publishers' full sets to go for. Anyway, moving on to, we'll go on to retrogames.co.uk, and I got 2 games. One he featured on one of his shows the other week. I'm like, oh, I've got to have that. I've got to have it. You know what's coming. Well, Jace does anyway. It's on the alternative software. Like I say, I'm getting close now. And this is Triple Decker Free. And I only need one more Triple Decker, and that is number 8. So hopefully one day that will appear and I'll grab that. And yeah, it's just nice because the Triple Deckers, they all contain 3 games. This one contains Taz, Burger Riot and Widow's Revenge. I won't show you them all. They're crap. All 3 of them are crap. I think Taz is kind of like a Robotron-esque game, but the ceiling and the floor close in. You've got to clear the screen of everything before basically you're squashed. The other 2 I did look at, but I can't remember them because they're really not that good. But yeah, that is Triple Decker Free on the alternative software range. And the other game that I got from Jace Retro Games is on the Kicks label. And this is, I've actually never heard of this. This is Solo Flight. It's a flight simulator. And as you can imagine, on the Commodore 64, it struggles. It struggles, and it's slow, clunky. Yeah, the frame rate is just, for me, it's unplayable. I think, you know, flight sim needs to be pretty fast, needs to be pretty smooth, like the modern consoles could handle. But the Polo 64, it just struggles. And I think I'd get bored, you know, turning the plane 180 degrees. You know, it's just like a flick screen. Well, it's not even a flick screen, is it? Because it's just not fast. Yeah, but it's an addition to the Kicks subset. I'm just picking Kicks up whenever and wherever. Not really pushing for the Kicks at the moment. And then the last 2, pretty hard to find games as such. This first one is a really good game, and it is Turbocharge. This is in a cardboard box, not a big cardboard box. It's the same size as a dual case. This is it's a mishmash of all kinds. You've got a bit of Road Blasters in there. You've got a bit of Outrun, you've got a bit of Power Drift, and you've got a bit of Chase HQ. It's all in there. It's by System 3. System 3 were a really good developer, a really good publisher. You know, the last Ninja series, Myth, Tusker, really good games. It's in I don't know if it's an official bag or what, just somebody just put it in. And then we've got the instruction manual, and then there is a warranty card, something in there, stuck in there though. Yeah, it's a really good game. try and put you a bit of footage on. It's done really well. The graphics are nice. They're nice. It runs at a good pace. It ain't got the usual red and white stripes at the side of the road, which a lot of racing games tend to have to try, to decipher the edge of the road. It does it power drift style. It's just basically a colour change, but it reminds me of how Power Drift did their road. But yeah, that's turbocharged, and it's not a common game. It's not a common game, but luckily I did get it about £8 or £9, which wasn't bad at all. Lastly, it is an alternative game. But it's very rare. This one is very rare. Now, I've got Jaws on the alternative range, but this is Jaws. This is actually Screen 7, and you're going to be thinking, well, that's not alternative. Well, it is. I don't know if you can see. It's Alternative's address. It is alternative software. And funnily, I am actually part of Alternative Software's group on Facebook, and I did query about this. I did ask him, says, what's the deal with Screen 7? Because there were already a Jaws release on Alternative Software label, just a single cassette. Screen 7 was like a collaboration they did with someone else. They didn't state who. I think they'd released a couple of games on the Screen 7 label, so this could be another little subset to go for. But yeah, but basically I don't know if they fell out with the other team publisher, or what happened, or they just went their separate ways. But that's why then Alternative then released it on their own label. They obviously own the rights to it. But yeah, Screen 7, it is, like I said, it is part of Alternative Software, just like Winners, React, Summit, and Double Take. They're all sub-labels of Alternative Software. This one cost me £30. I did think I was going to lose out. I had a maximum bid of £30. If it had just been payday, nobody would ever have beat me on this, because I'd have put a silly amount. I'd have put a silly maximum bidding, because I wouldn't want to lose it. But the most I could afford the other day was £30. Now I could see the bids creeping up, and it got to where I was the highest bidder at £30, and there were about 2 hours left, and I thought, I'm going to lose it. I'll be gutted. I'll cry. I would cry. But they had a bid retracted. So I got it for £26 plus postage, like I said, about £30. Yeah, somebody retracted their last bid for whatever reason. I mean, obviously their last bid, it would have told them they'd been outbid anyway, because but they retracted their bid. So I got it cheaper. I don't understand that, but there you go. So that is Jaws, Screen 7, part of Alternative Software. That is it. That is it for now. I'll likely have another pickups video in a couple of weeks, because it's the Black Country game event, Black Country Games Market. Looking forward to that. That's Danester's event, Dana and Harper's event. I think Tootie's stalling out there. I think Eddie's stalling out there. Claire Retro Repair Bear, she's been there since the beginning. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm off down with David. Retro Games Played Badly. Oh, he's going to drive nice and steady. I think he said between 50 and 60 miles an hour all the way down there and all the way back. Didn't we, Dave? No donuts or bloody J-spins or whatever they are. Yeah, it'll be nice to go down with Dave. Oh, and Pete Fighter 2. Sorry, Pete, I'm forgetting you there. But we'll not forget you on day. I'm sure there was something we forgot. Oh shit, yeah, Pete. But yeah, it's gonna be a great day. We're gonna have a good laugh. Again, I'm just going down for the social aspect, though. I'm pretty sure I'll come back with some. I always do at the Black Country event. It's going to be completely different to Leeds. Obviously, I wouldn't think there'd be the amount of numbers that were at Leeds, but that suits me fine. I know it's good for the traders, and I know Dana wants, a lot more people in. But I must admit, I do like it how it is, because it's so easy to get around. You can see everything with no pushing, shoving and nothing, and can just chat to loads of people. But yeah, is that the 3rd of March? The 3rd or the 5th of March? I've heard others say 3rd, so I'm going to say 3rd. I've got a feeling they'll be right and not me. Anyway, that's it, and thank you everybody for watching, and until next time, see you later.